Speaking English with Ada.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Speak English with Anna. I'm so happy to have you here in our favorite English learning corner. Today we are diving into a topic that I think every single one of us struggles with at some point. It's something that lives in your head all day, follows you to bed, but strangely enough, it never pays rent.
Wait, it doesn't pay rent? Anna, are you talking about my roommate? Because he's been a bit late lately.
No, Mike, not your roommate. I'm talking about overthinking. You know, that heavy feeling when your brain just won't stop spinning about the smallest things.
Oh man, you caught me. I've actually been stuck in an overthinking loop since I woke up this morning.
I could see it on your face the moment you walked into the studio. What happened? Was it something deep and philosophical?
I wish. It was actually my wardrobe. I spent a solid 15 minutes staring at two shirts, a dark blue one and a slightly darker blue one. I kept thinking, if I wear the dark blue, will I look too serious? But if I wear the slightly darker blue, will the lighting make me look like a shadow?
15 minutes for two blue shirts? Mike, that is premium, high-quality overthinking right there. Your brain should definitely start charging rent for all that wasted space.
I know. It's exhausting. And the worst part is, after all that thinking, I'm still not even sure I picked the right one. I'm still wondering if the other blue is better.
And that's exactly the problem. Overthinking doesn't lead to better decisions. It just leads to more stress. Whether it's choosing a shirt or worrying about a grammar mistake you made 3 days ago, it stops us from moving forward.
It really does. It's like having 50 browser tabs open in your mind at the same time, and they're all playing different music.
That's a perfect way to put it. Well, today we're going to hit the refresh button. We're going to talk about how the top 1% of successful people and successful language learners manage to shut down those extra tabs and find total clarity.
I definitely need that. My brain feels like it's running out of battery.
Then you're in the right place. But before we get into the secrets of a winning mindset, I want to make sure you don't miss any of our future sessions. If you feel like your brain has been over-rented by stress and you're ready to trade that noise for confidence, go ahead and join our community. Hit that subscribe button and give us a like. It's a small, simple action that tells your brain you're choosing progress over perfection today.
Exactly. Don't let your analysis paralysis stop you. Just one click and let's get started. All right, my brain is already starting to feel a bit clearer after that brain rent talk. But Anna, I think our listeners' brains might still be in sleep mode. We need to wake them up before we get into the heavy mindset stuff.
You're totally right, Mike. We can't build a 1% mindset with a sleepy brain. That's why it's time for our favorite segment, the Jumbled Sentence Challenge.
Oh, I love this part. It's like a puzzle, but for English learners. And the best part, there is no room for overthinking here. You either see the pattern or you don't.
Exactly. This is all about intuition. I'm going to give you a group of words that are completely mixed up, like a salad. Your job, yes, you, listening right now, is to rearrange them into a perfect, grammatically correct sentence.
And no cheating. Don't go to Google Translate. Just listen to the words and let your brain find the logic. What's the messy sentence for today, Anna?
Okay, everyone, listen closely. I'll say it twice. The words are English, opens, doors, learning, new, for, you.
Wait, say that again. It sounded like a code.
Okay, one more time, slowly. English, opens, doors, learning, new, for, you.
That's a good one. It sounds deep, but it's definitely a bit of a tongue twister when it's all mixed up like that. I can already see some people staring at their screens trying to move the words around in their heads.
If you're staring at the screen, stop. Don't overthink it. Just feel the rhythm of the language. Which word feels like it should go first? Which one is the action?
Here's the deal, guys. Write your answer in the comments right now. We check every single comment and we'll be giving a huge shout out to the first few people who get it right in our next video. It's a great way to see who's actually training their English muscle today.
And hey, if you get it wrong, who cares? That's part of the process. The only way to fail this challenge is by not trying at all because you're afraid of making a mistake.
Spot on. The top 1% don't wait for the perfect answer. they take a shot and learn. So leave your sentence below. I'm really curious to see who gets it first.
Me too. Now that the gears are turning and your brain is officially online, let's move into our very first major mind shift. This one is a game changer for anyone who feels like they aren't good enough yet. Now that everyone is warmed up, let's talk about the first major barrier that keeps English learners stuck in the overthinking trap. We call it black and white thinking.
Oh, I know this one all too well. It's that feeling where everything is either a total success or a complete disaster, right?
Exactly. In psychology, they call it all or nothing thinking. For a language learner, it sounds like this. If I don't speak perfectly, I shouldn't speak at all. Or, I forgot the past tense of that verb, so my English is officially terrible.
That is literally me every Tuesday. I'll be having a great conversation, I'll trip over one tiny preposition, and suddenly my brain goes, "Well, Mike, you failed. Pack your bags. We're going home. You'll never be fluent." It's like a light switch. Either the light is on and I'm a genius, or the light is off and I'm a failure.
And that is exactly where the top 1% differ from everyone else. They don't see a light switch. They see a dimmer switch.
A dimmer switch? You mean those knobs on the wall where you can make the light a little bit brighter or a little bit softer?
Precisely. Think about it, Mike. Learning a language isn't a binary state of knowing it or not knowing it. It's a spectrum. There is a huge gray area between being a beginner and being a native speaker. The problem is most people hate the gray area. They want to be at the 100% bright level immediately.
That makes so much sense. So when I make a mistake, instead of turning the light completely off, I should just realize I'm maybe at 40% or 60% brightness and just keep turning the dial up.
Exactly. And here's a tiny, powerful trick to help you stay in that gray growth zone. It's all about one word, and.
Just the word and? How does that help?
Usually, we use the word but, which cancels out the good stuff. We say, I understood the movie, but I couldn't speak. That makes you feel like you failed. The top 1% replace but with and. They say, I made a few grammar mistakes and I was able to explain my point.
Whoa, that actually feels completely different. I didn't know every word and I still finished the conversation. It acknowledges the struggle without ruining the progress.
Exactly. It takes the pressure off. You aren't perfect, and you are improving. You had a hard day, and you still showed up to practice. When you see the gray, you realize that a mistake isn't the end of the road. It's just a small bump on a very long, beautiful highway.
I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to be on or off. I just have to keep adjusting the dimmer.
That's the spirit. If you can master this one shift, you'll stop quitting when things get hard. Because remember, even 10% light is better than total darkness.
I love that. Even 10% light is better than total darkness. We should put that on a poster.
Maybe we will. But before we get too comfortable in the gray area, we need to talk about how to actually move faster. And for that, we need to learn how to put our brains into reverse gear.
Okay, Anna. You mentioned something about a reverse gear before the break. I'm intrigued. Does this mean I need to start reading my English textbooks from the last page to the first? Because I've tried a lot of things, but that sounds like a new level of crazy.
Not quite, Mike, though I admire the dedication. Thinking backwards is a mental strategy used by the world's most successful investors and thinkers. Most people wake up and ask a very positive question. How can I succeed today? Or how can I become fluent in English?
That sounds like a good thing, though. Isn't staying positive the whole point?
It's good, but it's incomplete. The problem with only asking, how can I succeed, is that your brain starts building this giant, perfect, complicated plan. You get overwhelmed by all the things you should do, and then you end up doing nothing. You get stuck in analysis paralysis.
Guilty as charged. I have 5 different English apps, 3 grammar books, and a list of 100 podcasts I want to listen to. I spend more time planning than actually learning.
Exactly. Now, here is the reverse gear. Instead of asking how to succeed, the top 1% ask, what would absolutely guarantee that I fail?
Wait, that sounds so pessimistic. Why would I want to think about failing?
It's actually brilliant because it's much easier for our brains to spot problems than to create perfect solutions. It's called inversion. If you want to improve your English, don't just look for new tricks, look at what is currently destroying your progress.
Okay, let me try this. If I wanted to guarantee that I never learn English, first, I would only study once a month. Second, I would never speak out loud because I'm too scared of looking silly. And third, I'd spend all my study time just scrolling through social media looking at English tips without actually practicing them.
Boom! You just found your reverse gear. By identifying the behaviors that lead to failure, you've actually created a very clear map of what to avoid. It's much easier to say, I will not scroll on my phone for an hour, than it is to say, I will be a perfect student today.
It's like clearing the rocks off the road before you try to drive the car.
Precisely. If you want to sound more natural, stop asking, how can I sound like a movie star? And start asking, what habits make me sound stuck? Usually, it's things like translating every word from your native language in your head, or stopping the conversation every time you forget a preposition.
Wow, so by simply not doing the things that make me fail, I'm actually moving towards success without all the stress of being perfect.
Exactly. Success isn't always about doing extra things. Often, it's about avoiding the potholes. The top 1% don't have a magical secret. They just have fewer self-created obstacles. They dodge the mistakes that everyone else is making.
I love that. Dodge the potholes. It makes the journey feel so much more manageable. I don't need to be a superhero. I just need to stop tripping over my own feet.
You've got it. And speaking of things that trip us up, the next shift is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. We're going to talk about why being loyal is actually holding your English back. Mike, I have a very serious question for you. Are you still carrying around that massive, dusty green grammar book I saw in your bag 3 months ago?
You mean the ultimate guide to 1,000 complex tenses? Yeah, it's still in there. It's actually quite heavy. I've only made it to page 20, but I carry it everywhere.
Be honest with me. Do you actually enjoy opening that book? Does it make you excited to learn English?
Honestly, I hate it. Every time I open it, I feel like I'm back in a boring high school classroom. It's dense, the exercises are repetitive, and it makes me want to take a nap after 5 minutes.
Then why, Mike? Why are you still carrying it? Why are you forcing yourself to finish it?
I don't know. I guess I feel loyal. I paid $40 for it, and I told myself I would finish it. I feel like if I stop now, I'm a quitter. I started the journey, so I have to reach the end, right?
That is exactly the loyalty trap that keeps so many learners stuck in the slow lane. You see, the top 1% have a very different perspective. They aren't married to methods. They are married to progress.
Married to progress. That sounds like a powerful way to put it.
It is. If a method, whether it's a book, an app, or a specific class, is no longer helping you grow, or if it makes you resent the language, it is no longer useful. Keeping it isn't being loyal or disciplined. It's actually just being stuck.
But doesn't it take discipline to finish what you start?
Discipline is doing the work even when it's hard, but wisdom is knowing when the work you are doing is a waste of time. If you're spending an hour a day on flashcards that you hate, you're training your brain to associate English with boredom and pain. Eventually, you'll just stop learning altogether.
Wow. So by being loyal to this boring book, I'm actually making myself more likely to quit English in the long run.
Exactly. Here is a simple test from the 1% mindset. Ask yourself this. If I were starting my English journey today, knowing what I know now, would I choose this method?
No, absolutely not. I'd probably watch interesting YouTube videos like ours or listen to podcasts while I walk.
Then there's your answer. Drop the book. Stop the boring app. Close the tab that makes you feel tired. Letting go isn't quitting, it's making space for something that actually works for you.
It's like breaking up with a bad habit to find a better partner. I feel so much lighter just thinking about leaving that book at home tomorrow.
You should. Guilt-free, Mike. Remember, the goal is to speak English, not to finish every boring book ever written. Your time is too valuable to waste on methods that don't make you feel alive.
I'm officially divorcing my green grammar book tonight.
Good for you. Now that we've cleared out the junk methods, we need to find out where your energy should be going, and that brings us to a very specific concept, the bottleneck.
Okay, Anna, I've officially ditched the boring textbook. I'm ready to focus on progress. But now that I have all this free time and energy, where do I put it? There are still a million things to learn. Vocabulary, slang, business English, accent. It's overwhelming again.
This is where most people get busy but don't actually get better. They try to fix 10 things at once. The top 1%, however, look for the bottleneck.
A bottleneck? You mean like the neck of a soda bottle?
Exactly. Imagine you have a large bottle full of water. If you turn it upside down, the water can only come out as fast as the neck allows. It doesn't matter how big the bottle is, the narrow neck controls the speed of everything.
So you're saying there's one specific thing in my English that is holding everything else back?
Precisely. We often spend our time polishing the bottle, buying new notebooks, learning fancy idioms, or watching movies, because those things are fun and easy. But if your bottleneck is actually a fear of speaking, then all the vocabulary in the world won't make you fluent.
That hits home. I know so many advanced words, but the moment I have to order coffee in English, my throat tightens up and I just point at the menu like a statue.
See? That's your bottleneck. Your vocabulary is a big bottle, but your fear is a very narrow neck. You don't need more words. You need to widen that neck by practicing low-pressure speaking.
That's a really helpful way to look at it. So instead of trying to be better at everything, I should just find the one thing that is truly slowing me down and attack it.
Exactly. For some people, the bottleneck is listening. They can speak, but they can't understand the reply. For others, it's grammar. They speak fast, but people get confused because the tenses are all wrong. If you fix the bottleneck, the whole flow of your English improves instantly.
It's like a traffic jam. You don't need to fix the entire highway. You just need to move the one broken car that's blocking the lane.
What a perfect analogy. So I want everyone listening to be really honest with themselves right now. What is your bottleneck? Is it listening? Is it your limited range of verbs? Or is it just that you spend too much time watching videos about English instead of actually using English?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think for me, it's definitely perfectionism. I wait until I have the perfect sentence in my head before I open my mouth. By the time I'm ready, the conversation has moved on to a completely different topic.
There it is. That's the broken car on your highway, Mike. If you focus 80% of your energy on just being okay with being messy, your English will start flowing much faster. Focus beats busy every single time.
Focus beats busy. I'm writing that down. It's better to fix the one thing that matters than to polish 10 things that don't.
Spot on. But identifying the problem is half the battle. The other half is keeping your cool when things get difficult. And that leads us to a very emotional topic.
We've covered so much, Anna. I've ditched my boring books, I've identified my perfectionism bottleneck, and I'm ready to see the gray. I feel like I'm on top of the world. I'm going to be fluent by next week.
I love the enthusiasm, Mike. But hold on a second. This is exactly where the next two mind shifts come in. We need to talk about drama mode and the long game. Because right now, you're on an emotional high. But what happens when you have a bad day?
A bad day? You mean like when I go to an English meetup, forget how to say hello, and feel like a complete amateur?
Exactly. That's when mind shift number 5 is crucial. Don't decide when you're emotional.
What do you mean by decide?
When we're frustrated, tired, or embarrassed, our brains go into survival mode. We want relief from the pain, so we make radical decisions. A student has one bad conversation and says, "That's it. English is too hard for me. I'm deleting all my apps. I'm never going to live abroad."
I've definitely done that. I call it the rage quit. I get so annoyed with myself that I just want to give up everything to make the frustration stop.
The top 1% know that emotions are like weather. They change every hour. They never make a long-term decision based on a short-term feeling. If they have a bad day, they don't quit. They just take a nap. They wait until they are calm and content before they evaluate their progress.
If you're frustrated, don't quit. Just take a nap. I think I can handle that. It's like a rule. No big English decisions after 9 p.m. or when I'm hungry.
Honestly, that's a great role. Clarity loves calm. If you feel like your English is terrible, wait 24 hours. I bet you'll feel differently tomorrow. And that leads us to the final, most important shift, playing the long game.
Everyone talks about the long game, but it's so hard when we live in a world of instant results. I want to see progress now.
I understand, but here's the secret. The top 1% aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They're simply the ones who stayed in the race the longest. Most people give up at the 90% mark right before the big breakthrough happens.
Why do people give up so close to the finish line?
Because of the boredom plateau. In the beginning, learning is exciting. You learn hello, how are you, and coffee, and you feel like a genius. But then you hit the middle, the long stretch where you're working hard, but it doesn't feel like you're getting better.
That's exactly where I am. I feel like I've been at the same level for months. It's boring and it's discouraging.
That boredom is actually a sign of growth, Mike. It's like growing a tree. You water it every day, and for a long time, nothing seems to happen. But underneath the soil, the roots are getting deep and strong. Mastery hides in the boring days. The winners are just the ones who kept watering the tree when it looked like nothing was happening.
So the goal isn't to be the fastest runner, it's just to be the one who doesn't stop walking.
Precisely. If you can stay consistent for 30 days, then 90 days, then a year, you will eventually pass everyone who was faster but quit because they got bored. The long game is the only game that matters.
Mastery hides in the boring days. That is going to stay with me. I'm going to stop looking for a miracle and start looking for consistency.
That's the mindset of a winner, Mike. Now, let's wrap this up by making sure we actually remember the new words we learned today. Wow, Mike, we've really traveled through the mind today, from brain rent to bottlenecks. But as I always say, a good mindset is only half the battle. You need the right tools, the right words to express that new way of thinking.
I agree. My brain feels much lighter, but I want to make sure I can actually use these cool concepts in a real conversation. We used some pretty specific terms today, didn't we?
We did. Let's break down the gold list of vocabulary from this episode so our listeners can add it to their daily English.
Let's do it. The first one is a big one. Overthink.
Overthink. To think about something too much or for too long, usually until it makes you feel stressed or worried. For example, I spent all night overthinking that one small mistake I made during the meeting. Don't do that. It's a waste of energy.
Guilty. Okay, the second one, potholes.
Literally, potholes are those annoying holes in the street that can damage your car, but today we used it as a metaphor for obstacles or common mistakes. You want to dodge the potholes in your English journey, like the habit of translating everything in your head.
I love that image. Next up is bottleneck.
A bottleneck is the narrow part of a bottle that limits how fast the liquid flows out. In life or learning, it's the one main problem that slows down all your progress. If you fix your bottleneck, like your fear of speaking, everything else moves faster.
And my personal favorite from today, guilt-free.
Guilt-free means doing something without feeling bad or ashamed. We want you to drop those boring textbooks guilt-free. If it's not helping you grow, say goodbye to it and don't look back.
And the last one, which really resonated with me, breakthrough.
A breakthrough is a sudden, dramatic, and important discovery or development. It's that aha moment when everything finally clicks. Remember, the biggest breakthroughs usually happen right after the most boring days of practice.
That's a powerful list. Overthink, potholes, bottleneck, guilt-free, and breakthrough. I'm definitely using that bottleneck in my next work meeting.
It'll make you sound like a pro. Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of today's session. I hope you're feeling more like that top 1% today, calmer, focused, and ready to play the long game.
I know I am. I'm going home to divorce my boring books and just enjoy the gray area of learning. It's actually kind of fun when you stop trying to be perfect.
That's exactly the goal, Mike. Before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your English doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful. It just has to be you.
Well said, Anna. If you found today's episode helpful, please share with one friend who might be overthinking their life right now. Let's help them clear those browser tabs in their head too.
And don't forget to check the description for a free PDF with the full transcript and some fun quizzes to test what you learned today.
Stay curious, keep your mindset sharp, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye for now. Keep growing.